Why does it work now? Like I have no idea
No
why.
idea. We didn't change anything.
No, just
Did you turn
disconnected
it
and
on and
connected.
off again?
Classic.
Okay, so basically,
That's what we did. Yeah.
okay. Hello, welcome. My name is Philip Kolianos, and this is Jump Ship.
And my name is Daniel Kaplan, and yeah,
Today
this
we have a
is Jump Ship.
special guest.
Yes, special
And
guest
I'm
on
Kenneth.
stage. Who do we have with us, Mr. Man? Tell us, who are you?
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you great.
Oh, good. I did say hello. I'm Kenneth.
Oh, sorry. Yeah. Um, so we're trying something different this time, with Kenneth Orr joining in on the chat. And our idea this time around was that, well, Kenneth Orr, tell us a little bit about yourself and who you are and why you're probably here. Maybe you know already.
Probably.
Well, I obviously, as many of the people in chat have already seen, I do videos on space and sci-fi content, reviews, previews, that sort of deal, and have been lucky enough to get access to Jump Ship to show everybody the good times that it can give you.
Yeah. And we just want to say again, thank you for spending time with us 2 weeks ago and also doing the videos that you posted. They were super cool and super great. But we also know, that you've been involved in the community for quite some time. And you also have probably like good grasp of what people think of the game or what questions could pop up after testing the game and stuff like that. So we thought maybe you will ask the questions and we will hopefully answer them.
Yeah. I guess before we start the questions, maybe we can recap a little bit
Yes,
what
please do.
happened. So hopefully everyone here has seen the burst of media from us that we launched last Monday. We had a collaboration together with IGN and a bunch of other content creators. And it's been crazy. I think we can safely say that we hit 600,000 wishlist last week. The Discord channel has increased by 6,000 people. So all you guys who recently joined, welcome. We are so happy to see you guys.
Yeah, and we have over 100,000 subscribers in our email/beta list.
Yep.
So what does that mean? Basically, it means that not everyone on the beta list will be able to test the game in the current form that we have right now. We're gonna look into if we can have like a more public test eventually, but we haven't exactly nailed down when and how. But yeah, there's been a huge increase of interest very recently.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah.
But I really want that everyone should be able to test it out as soon as we possibly can. But there's still like some technical difficulties we need to figure out.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think one thing that I would like to point out is like the interest is just growing and growing, and that's super fun, but it's also a bit scary because we're not that many people in the studio, and it would be fun to give you guys a tour of how the studio looks like. Should we do that now or later?
We can do it a bit later since we're already here. And we have Kenneth Orr on the line as well to help us out a bit.
Yeah, because I think it's important for you guys to kind of see like we're not a big corporation here. We're a bunch of normal people sitting in a basement, and what does a small studio look like? So you guys can kind of get some faces behind the names, and yeah. So we thought that would be fun. But yeah, let's do that after the Q&A.
Yes.
Cool.
So, Mr. K, have you thought of anything already?
Well, I think we should go over the most pressing question that people definitely want answered is when is the next wave of invites going out?
Yeah. We have
If
a
you
new
know.
system. Yeah, not a specific date per se, but we have a new system that we're currently trying out. That's a bit different, and that you didn't have time to try either. When that is in, do you want to talk about the new
system? What are we talking about?
The artifacts.
Jaha. Yeah. So I'm like, we have so many new systems.
Yeah.
So we're basically working on a quite large update to
Yeah.
the beta. So last one we pushed was like 2 weeks ago, I think. And we did a wave of invites last week, I think on Monday.
It went on the reveal on the
Yes, so that was last
24th?
Monday.
Yeah, yeah.
And now we're working towards a bigger update, which includes our efforts regard to single player, so you can play alone and sort of have this helper AI. We're also
we've seen a lot of questions about single player popping up, and let's talk about that right now.
Yeah, that's good because that was going to be one of my other ones. It definitely needs to be reiterated. There will be a single player, right?
There will be single player, or we have rather improved the single player. So there is an helper AI that will kind of man the combat station and kind of man the turrets for you, repair the ship, so that if you're playing alone, you can, and you're in space combat, you're okay just flying the ship. You don't have to stop the ship and sort of do all the things yourself. And we have sort of the absolute fundamental part
Quite
of that
crude,
AI.
but,
It's quite crude,
yeah.
but he's kind of funny. He's like a space cowboy at the moment. Silly character, but he already improves the gameplay a lot when you're playing alone. So that's one thing we want to make sure it's working well before we push. The second thing is a system we call artifacts, which is basically for every jump you will find artifacts, which is basically upgrades to your ship that will only be there for the mission you play. That gives you like really cool bonuses, like the more components you have installed, the more damage you deal, or the fewer components you install, the more damage you deal, or if all the players stand close to each other, they will also heal. And we have a bunch of these artifacts that you can sort of install and stack so that each play session becomes quite different. And that's a system that's in the works, but we want to make it a bit more stable and a bit more balanced before we push it to the beta. So these two things are quite large. So I would assume, like, I love this. I'm gonna guess and then be super wrong, but I would guess 2-3 weeks, probably close to 3 weeks.
Yeah.
It's probably when we do a large update and invite new people.
Yeah. So, and before we invite new people, we would ship to the current ones first, and then let it cook for a couple of days, and then we would invite new people.
Yeah.
To just see that it's somewhat working as intended before bringing on more people.
Yeah, and it's a bunch of other updates. We have a lot, like a bunch of new missions that's in the works, and a lot more new levels. So we're doing like broad kind of content everywhere.
We just have to up our game on all fronts now. Full production.
No pressure.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
for
2-3 weeks. Short answer.
So for the robot for the single player, does it have a name yet?
So we call it internally, we call it the body bot, but I don't think that's going to be the official name.
I mean, maybe the players can call it whatever they want.
Name it, yeah.
Or
the community should have like a
vote, fight it out.
bot face or something. Keeps winning when you let
vote,
the community vote.
Face, I don't know. Do they have any suggestions?
Oh, I'm seeing plenty in the chat from Kevin, Gerald, Hal,
Osco, yeah, that's a classic.
Steve, Dave.
Dave's
a classic.
Maybe we should do some voting system or something, or you can name it yourself.
Yeah.
But for now, internally, it's called the body bot.
Bob the bot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so the body bot will be present in the ship, even though you are more than one player. So he's going to be like a character who you can talk to, and he will sit in the bar and be your bartender. And if you are more than one player and he has nothing to do, he will just sit in the bar and be sad. So it's like we want to make him more of a character that's there with you all the time, even though he does more when you're playing alone.
So speaking of the bar area, people want pizza options because, well, the Italians are angry.
Right, pizza options. I vote no. You're gonna have banana and pineapple. If you don't
And
like
I like
curry,
pineapple
banana
pizza.
pizza.
get everything. Or we make it like a paid DLC or something. So
Yeah.
it's like, okay, you want real pizza, you gotta pay.
No, but I mean that we were just having fun with the pineapple pizza. It's actually like one of the most common pizzas in Sweden.
Mm,
It's the pizza with ham, cheese, ham, and pineapple.
yeah,
Uh,
and I saw
Yeah,
one
Hawaiian pizza.
with Nutella. It's like no cheese, nothing. It's just bread and Nutella.
This is just a sandwich. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's not a pizza.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Um,
but pizza options. I think like depending on how
Yeah.
well you cook the pizza, because it's a kind of a mini game. You will have different pizza types. But then, sadly, the Italians, if they play well, they will get the pineapple one.
I have
Yeah,
seen a
we
few
should-
options that people have discussed about having different pizzas do different things for the character.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Mm,
Like,
yeah.
like
Buffs.
yeah.
Yeah, like little buffs. So instead of healing, maybe
Yeah.
you get like a stamina buff, and you run faster or something like that.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Yep.
And it would be cool, like if we regionally target you. If you're from Italy, you always get the shittiest pizza.
Yes.
Just to troll them.
That's so good.
Quite a few
we just
people are concerned about the hardware requirements. Do you have a target you're trying to hit with that? I know it might be a bit early for a lot of the optimization process,
Yeah.
but like for final targeting, is there
Yeah.
any like aspects you're trying to hit, or you know, do you want to put it on Steam Deck, that type of thing?
Exactly. Good question. Like since we're also developing for consoles, like the Xbox Series S and X, I guess the S would be,
Probably
or
the
the Steam,
weakest.
and the
Or the
Steam
Steam
Deck,
Deck is probably
yeah,
the weakest. Yeah.
yeah, and the Steam Deck, I think, but what we will target there is like 30 FPS
Yeah. Yeah.
in its native resolution. Um, but obviously we want it to run on as many machines as possible. But I think Steam Deck will be the
Yeah.
lowest tier of hardware.
And we're jokingly talking about in the studio like having this checkbox for potato mode.
Yeah.
It's like turning everything off and the game will still run. But it doesn't exist yet. But I think Steam Deck 30 FPS is, if we get that running well, it's like stable, then I'm super happy with that.
Yeah. And I also saw someone asking about like when the Xbox beta will start. That will start a bit later. We don't have any news today, but we will let you know ASAP. And you know, when signing up on our webpage, you can choose like if you're interested on on PC or Xbox, and then we will choose people from the Xbox section because we really want to get the feedback, especially like feeling of how it is to play with gamepad and expectations on Xbox and stuff like that too. Otherwise, it should be exactly the same game.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, just to fill in, like the hardware we have at the office, like it runs pretty okay on our machines, and we run GeForce 3060 Ti, or is it just 3060
Ti? I think
Ti.
3060 Ti. Yeah,
just like a regular CPU, 4-year-old CPUs. Just to give you a ballpark of the hardware that we are using at the office.
Yeah. So
and are you planning any crossplay as well between PC and Xbox?
No, not at least not during early access, because doing crossplay is like logistically quite hard to make sure like the versions are exactly the same at the same time. I think that's something we'll explore after 1.0.
Yeah.
In early access, like we want to keep it, ourselves as agile as possible, because sometimes we maybe need to patch the PC versions, and sometimes we only maybe just need to patch the Xbox version, and then we can do that without necessarily caring about breaking compatibility in between those two. It's quite tricky with cross.
Yeah, I'd like to emphasize again, it's about the team size we have.
Yeah.
I think it's hard to, like, if you haven't been developing, it's kind of hard to appreciate. What do you mean? Like, you can just share data, but it's like far worse than that. And then, you know, you're on Steam, for example, if we can patch Steam instantly. We can patch it 15 times per day if we want to. That's no problem. But patching on the console, that's a whole different ball game. And then suddenly things are off sync. And like you say, if there is a specific problem on the console, you might, things might have to be off sync for a couple of days until we kind of, and all these issues. If we promise crossplay, it will just be very difficult for us to focus on making the game better. So we made a decision not to focus on that, at least until 1.0.
Yeah. Since you want the dust to settle. So
Yeah.
Cool. I've noticed quite a few people are wondering about the other ships that the game will have. I know you've been working on a few, but do you have like a total amount that you want to tell the community about?
At early access, I can't give you, like, it's still like a bit
Still up in the
shaky.
air.
3 maybe, depends on how you count, because the ship that you've seen in the videos, there will be a broken version. That's what you start with. So it depends on how you look at it. If that counts as the broken and the fully restored one, is that 2? Probably. Then we also have a small one, like a quiet, nimble ship, kind of working well for maybe 2 players. You can play 4 in it as well, but it's very tight and quick and nimble and sort of plays quite differently. Whenever we make ships, I think it's important to us that it's not just similar to the default ship, but like they have quite different characteristics, quite different sort of setup of components. Maybe the small ship has 3 pilot cannons while the larger one only has 1. Maybe the larger one has more auxiliary power components you can install, more options there, while the small one doesn't. And we also want to make like a super shitty ship, like a cargo freighter that barely has anything, and it's super hard to complete any mission with it. But if you do, you get like 10 times the rewards or something like that. So we want every ship to feel quite different and play quite different, and that takes time. But yeah, 2 or 3 ships, somewhere around there.
Awesome. So a lot of people have been asking about if you're going to be adding aliens, which I'm pretty sure that you've already stated not for now, at least.
Yeah, that's a
But
hard
will there
no.
be
But
more? Yeah.
if every single person who buys the game buys 10 copies, then we can change that.
But will there be more enemy types than the ones that we've seen?
On foot or ships?
Both, I would guess.
So on foot, I'm not sure if we've shown everything. I don't think you've seen everything yet. So there are quite large, tough ones, and the smaller ones you've seen on the video. But we are not working on any new enemies. So like whoever is on the beta, like that's what it is. Ship enemies, probably squeeze in a few more, maybe. And that's also where we are looking at like the feedback from the community. We're keeping statistics on like, okay, what are they happy with? Are they happy with the shooting? Are they happy with the on foot combat? Like, and there it seems like players now seem to want to add more or like improve the space combat more. Like people are quite happy with how the first person shooting part works, so we'll just adhere to that. And then so I think if we're going to add any more enemies, it will probably be ships, or improve the ship behaviors that's already there.
Cool. Can you detail a bit more about the progression system? A lot of people are wondering where the meaningful progression in the game comes from. Is it from getting deeper in the map? Is it just following the story? Is it upgrading the ship?
Right. So in the lobby, like in the game, you have like a big galaxy map, and you start in one region. And the story is that the machines have taken over. Suddenly, the machine became sentient and have almost destroyed the human race. Only small pockets of survivors are split around the galaxy. The only hope that's left is that the humanity have found the source of this corruption virus, as we call it. And the source of it seems to be somewhere in the center of the galaxy. So the mission for us as players is to region by region work our way close to the source of the galaxy or the middle of the galaxy and destroy the source of this corruption virus. And by doing that, hopefully stopping this machine invasion. So there, a big part of the progression is unlocking new regions with new missions and harder missions. And right now, a lot of the progression is focused on around the ship itself and the components that you can install and unlock. So you have a starter region, and from there you have a few story missions that you need to kind of complete to unlock the next region. Then you have side regions as well. And for each region, you have a bunch of components you can unlock by just playing missions, finding components. And once you bring them back to your ship, it's like, aha, now you have the new engine or the new turret. And those in turn you can upgrade. So you have like Mark 1 Gatling gun, and then Mark 2 Gatling gun, and Mark 3 Gatling gun as well. So you will be upgrading your ship as you progress, playing more missions. And the more powerful you get as a ship, you can then eventually start completing the more harder story missions, and with time you end up that's the most fucked up gif I've ever seen. Sorry. And eventually you kind of sort of completed the story of the game, basically. But with that said, completing the story of the game does not mean that the game will end by any means. There is like an end game idea to that. But what I'm talking about now, like we will not have all the regions and all the story and everything in yet. You will have a few missions and you will unlock one region and you have a few side regions, but not the whole thing will be there from the start. I also know we are extremely aware that the community will 99% chance want to have a personal progression as well. So like your character gets better in some way. That will not be in on early access, but we're extremely aware of that, and like
it will probably happen during early
yeah,
access.
we're exploring different ways of, will it be like a skill tree? Maybe not. Will it be that you unlock weapons or items that you start with, or your suit?
Yeah.
More likely, but exactly how that's gonna work is not something we have decided yet.
I think there's a lot of the notes that I've got written down
Cool.
gone through. Let's see what we got. People want to know if we can save runs or do we have to start from scratch every time?
So with that said, a run in this game is not like, it's like somewhere between 30 minutes to an hour. You can do a long run that's 1.5 hours. So the idea is that you're gonna complete one mission in one sitting. So we will not save within the mission itself, but whatever you accomplish during that mission, whether that is finding new components or, if you complete a mission and you bring the rewards, those things will be kept. So like if I find a new engine, for example, that will be stored. We all find it together, so every player unlock that engine in their own hangar if they like. And eventually we'll unlock more ships and stuff like that through playing missions. So there is a persistence, but we will not save. If you're halfway through a mission and kind of need to leave, then you will have to abandon mission, and that will give you partial reward. So if the mission gives you some, say 100 credits, and you gave halfway through, maybe you get 30 credits when abandoning.
Oh, I just saw another question as well, and then it just kept scrolling.
Yeah.
It's talking so fast.
Do you get to keep weapons? Well, you will keep your components on the ship, so those weapons will be kept. Handguns and stuff like that, you would probably like. Those will not be kept. You might get some more credits completing the mission if you have a lot of guns laying around. But starting a mission, you will kind of you can go to like a trader in the hub and be like, hey, I would like to start with a rocket launcher as well. Okay, that costs you a little bit of extra, so you can like equip yourself for the next upcoming mission. But right now, the only thing that is persistent and stays is the ship. and the components on the ship and whatever new things you've found and have installed on the ship.
Okay,
How
this one's a
many-
good one.
Yep.
How are you guys handling and approaching feedback, and what feedback are you prioritizing?
So we have different ways. I mean, right now we have the beta community, so they have
And
like
this session
yeah,
is also a
this session,
feedback session.
obviously.
Yeah.
But we have a separate beta community that's sort of writing feedback, mostly, also bug reports. So we kind of listen to what they say. We also have like anonymous surveys, so people can fill in a form, basically. And then we kind of compare the two, because usually people tend to be very focused on certain specific things. If they kind of like, oh, the game crashed when I did X, they will be very specific about feedbacking about that crash. Or it's very annoying to play 3 players, it's too difficult to play 3 players or whatever. They will write about that. But we need to know the big picture of, are you happy with the graphics? Are you happy with space combat? So we need both, because if we only listen to what people are writing specifically, it's also very narrow.
Yeah. So we do like, so to summarize, we do read comments on YouTube and Reddit and social media, whatever, on Discord, what kind of expectations people have. That's also parts of the feedback. We have the beta group with their suggestions and bug reports and issues and headaches. We have the form that the beta people can submit with various questions and grading different parts of the game. And on top of that, we also have the telemetry system that's in the background while you're playing the game. You send in some telemetry on how you're performing, how long your session is, what kind of FPS you have, when you die, how much material you have while you died, and
all
stuff
the
like
loot,
that.
how many, on this specific mission, how many players die.
So
But
all
like,
those, we wait in all of those into our minds, and then at the end of the day, they have to conform to our vision of what we believe is the best for the game as well. And then it's the gut feeling.
It's very interesting. Like,
Yeah.
what I'm really trying to see is like, okay, if there is a specific feedback about, oh, it's impossible when you play 3 players or whatever. Like, can we see that in the telemetry? Are they matching or not? Or this particular level is super hard. Can we see that in the data as well? So we're still kind of like getting used to having all this data and what does it mean. It's still early ages, but yeah, that's definitely so it's a lot of sources at the moment.
So there
People
are a
are
lot of
asking for a bit more lore. If you've got any new lore drops that you want to dish out.
Not really, not more than we just said.
Not at this time, nope.
Nope. But I think we will make some short videos with a sort of game intro and stuff like that, so you kind of know what the game is about in a while.
Will there be in-game voice chat, like proximity chat?
Not proximity chat. We have not implemented voice chat yet, since we believe most people will just be using Discord, but we will have like super simple implementation of voice chat.
Yeah, I think, to me, okay, I'm gonna rant a bit, but like proximity chat feels like a little bit thing that's kind of cool in certain games. And those games are extremely popular right now. But I think for our game, I don't see where that would make sense.
No, the game does not play like Lethal Company and those kind of games. You're not really, like, the gameplay is not focused on playing asynchronous in that regard.
Yeah, exactly. It puts quite heavy pressure on very clear and good communication. If I'm like leaving the ship in the middle of a battle to single-handedly take out a large ship while you guys are flying around, we need to be able to communicate, because something can go wrong on the ship and I need to leave and help you guys, right? And if proximity chat kind of goes, oh no, if you leave, you're on your own. And I think that speaks quite against the vision of what jump ship is. So
we've got quite a few like various like difficulty based questions on basically what does it scale, will end game overpowered ship like make the end game feel like insignificant. I mean, obviously we're really far away from the end game, but like a lot of people are wondering about the different difficulty levels.
Right now we have 5 difficulty levels, like 1 to 5. 5 is supposed to be almost like impossible for us devs, which means super easy for you hardcore players. But like
and someone else wants a hardcore, like only die once mode as well.
yeah, I
Yeah.
think like based on the feedback that we've seen, we have a very wide spectrum of expectations. We have super hardcore players who wants to beat the game, right? And they play 10 times better than we do already. So we have to make difficulty levels that are just from our point of view like ridiculous. And then on the other end, we have players who are currently quite frustrated with the fact that they just want to hang out and have pizza, and the game is kind of not allowing you to do that. It's closer to Left 4 Dead and kind of like keep pushing you forward and like keep progressing, and bad things are happening and you have to deal with that. And I think both are right. Both player types on the each and every extreme are people that we need to listen to. But the good thing is that we have systems in place to make like quite easily make missions that are just really ridiculously hard, and also make missions that are super chill. We just need to design those missions and sort of populate the galaxy map to kind of let all players choose themselves what they want to do.
Yeah. We want it to be like a buffet where you choose, do you want to go the super hard route or just the chill mode kind of route? Just hang out with your friends this evening.
And I also think we don't have that yet, but like an infinite mission that keeps you jumping forever until you decide like, okay, in 3 jumps we have to leave and jump back. So like you can keep jumping, and the more jumps you do, the harder the game gets until you get overpowered. I'm pretty sure that's something that players want, so we're gonna make missions like that as well. But that's probably not something we'll have time for early access. But rest assured, it's gonna happen.
That's nice. Yeah, one of the questions was specifically on jump length as well. Like, is 5 or 6 like the max jump distance? But yeah, if you could do like an infinite one that just keeps getting harder, that could be pretty cool.
Yeah, so right now, I think we have missions that last for half an hour. That would be probably 3-4 jumps. Then we have missions that last for 45 minutes, and then 1 hour. And I think we're gonna do 1.5 hours. That's probably around 10 jumps or something like that. And we can very quickly make those and then populate the galaxy with that. And that's where we're gonna be. So it's up to the players to pick the length of the mission, and then on top of that we have the infinite that will release later.
This one's a good one. Will there be a ship upgrade to auto shelve pickups?
Auto shelf pickups. What
Yeah,
does that
so
mean?
like sort them from the floor to the shelves automatically.
All right.
Although I know
think
some
that's part
people
of the
find
game,
great
right?
enjoyment
Part of the
in doing
game.
that manually,
I
but I
think
thought
that's
that's
part
quite
of
an
the
interesting
game.
one.
It's very
Yeah.
charming to see. Like we
Yeah.
always have some pedantic players who get annoyed because the fire extinguisher set up in all the stupid places. So like I would love that chaos to be in there.
I think it's part of the game to communicate like where you want to place stuff.
Yeah.
After you order things.
Yeah, like this is where we put all the repair kits. This is where we put the fire extinguishers. This is where we put the guns. So I think that it would take away a little bit.
Yeah. There should be some friction.
Yeah.
We've also got someone asking for a surfboard to ride, but without copyright infringing the Silver Surfer.
Surfboard like space in space.
Yeah, like space surfboard. Yeah, instead of the jetpack, I guess.
Yeah, I mean it would be like
that could be a cool
with
cosmetic. To be
animation.
fair.
We could like hide it behind some cool unlock, and then you instead of jetpack you're surfing. It wouldn't be that crazy.
No.
Why not?
But probably after early access. We have the jetpack already.
Yeah.
Look, speaking of cosmetics, though, I have seen quite a few people asking about like, is there a plan around cosmetics? Are you adding cosmetics to the game?
Yeah, you can pick between a bunch of different suits and suit color combinations. I'm pretty sure we will expand that quite a lot as we move along. The same with the ship. where you can pick color right now.
Yeah.
We will definitely extend that. Like maybe you find cool objects on your adventures and you can like place, you find a little space gnome and then you place it somewhere beautiful and that will stay in your ship, or like maybe a
Or
nice...
like ridiculous stuff. Choose spoilers for your ship.
Yeah. I think we will get there. Like there's definitely a high demand for that type of stuff. But today, color is what stays, as well as the components you have installed.
Will there be a photo mode or video mode to like record like some best moments?
We have tools, but I can't promise it will be in early
Yeah,
access.
they're currently broken. But
Yeah.
with the pizza trailer that you saw, that was completely recorded in game while the game was running. So it wasn't from the Unity editor or anything like that. It was all like live recorded with the gamepad. And with the trailer too, so we had
Yeah, so we do have a photo mode.
Yeah.
Or had.
had
For that to be ready for normal people to use, I think we would have to put some time into it. I don't think we can until early access, but we're like 80-90% there, I think. So at some point we'll definitely polish that up.
There's a few people asking if we can customize the suits from head to toe. It's just from what I've seen, it's just the helmet and the suit itself, right?
That's correct. I would expect us to expand on that in the
Yeah.
future. But for early access, it's the helmet and the body.
Yeah.
And you have a male and female version of every suit as well.
I think it's worth reiterating your stance on PvP, as it has been asked for so many times.
Yeah. PvP will never happen. Sorry, guys. Even if we sell 10 million copies, we will not make...
Maybe if we sell 10 million and one no.
Even then, I think let's say, okay, so I can say this. It will never happen in Jump Ship. Because I don't think people appreciate the extreme challenge that puts on the code base and sort of all the systems. They would have to be hacker free, basically.
Yeah.
And
it would require like a complete rewrite of the whole game, like a sequel.
So exactly.
Yeah.
If we sell shit tons of copies and a couple of years down the line, we decide to make a sequel, that's when we would have to have that discussion.
Space of Thieves, it would be called.
Yeah. But like,
you heard it here.
To be blunt, forget about PvP.
Yeah.
It is not going to happen, even if the game is super successful.
Yeah. It has to be a sequel.
Yeah.
And it has to be like engineered and designed from the ground up from the start. Otherwise, like it's like we've been developing this game officially since 2021.
Yeah.
And it's like 4 years of work that would need to be like reconsidered to make that work, and it's not gonna happen for Jump Ship.
Yeah.
I've seen someone ask for quick reference for like the different types of weapons, so we can see like the power differential between the different weapons, both probably ship and FPS weapons. Would that be a thing we can either have in game or like separately on the Discord?
What is like, so you just see a list of all the stuff and you can compare?
Yeah, so you can like compare the stats and fire rates and things like that.
Yeah, I think we should.
People love digging into those.
Yeah, but I think it's still too early to
Still
kind
too
of
early?
present that stuff. But
changing stuff.
We're changing a lot all the time, and we're like, oh, now I have a new gun. So it's still too early to kind of do that. But I definitely agree that we need to share that somehow, if it's on a wiki or because in the hangar you can see all the components and stuff, so you can compare them there. So yeah, making a wiki, I think we'll probably do at some point. But right now it's a bit too early.
Cool. Quite a few people asking about localization on what languages you want to include.
Yeah. So in my experience, I think the localization is best made together with the community. I worked a lot in my previous life on Minecraft at Mojang, and we had like very successfully a lot of translators from the community, and I think we'll go that route here as well. We will set up some base languages ourselves, like and localize those. But then I believe that the best way of localizing a game is together with the community, and then we will invite whoever wants to help out to do that in collaboration with us on like a public platform.
We have gotten quite a few people who volunteered already for a lot of languages. So right today is a bit too early to kind of bring those people in, but rest assured, like it's gonna happen.
Yeah.
Do I use that phrase correctly? Sometimes I'm like questioning myself. Rest assured. Does that mean something I like?
Be sure it will happen.
That's what it means.
Yes.
Yeah,
I think so. Ask the British, the Englishman.
Yeah.
I mean, it means don't worry, basically. Yeah. Rest assured. Yeah. Be at rest. Don't worry.
Is that I'm not gonna say the phrase, but I used another phrase a couple of other weeks ago that was extremely offensive, and people were like, "What the fuck?" Like what?
I could tell you a funny but quite offensive thing that my wife said, because my wife's not English either, but she's like half English, but she grew up in Switzerland, and she repeated something I say around the house at work, and she thought, "Oh, I thought it was like mild." I'm like, "No, that's highly offensive."
I do that with my wife as well.
It can be quite funny.
Yeah, I do that with my wife too. I trick her to say really offensive things in Sweden. It's Swedish, sorry.
Nice. This one's kind of an addition to earlier on about the single player. But can you launch and completely play the game offline?
We're actually working on that right now. We have like a big discussion on the coder team how to make that happen. Because like one serious concern we have is like, okay, what if everything crashes on day one and all you guys can't even start the game, right? So we've taken that seriously, but I can't promise anything today. But of course, it's something we would like to do. But it's a question of like how much work is it actually to store all that data locally, or have both in the cloud and local, and stuff like that. So maybe, hopefully, at some point, yes.
We want it to happen.
Yeah.
We've got a question on if there'll be a multi-grapple or net option to grab more items at once.
Multi-grapple? Why would you do that? Like,
because you're limited currently to like 4 different types of items. And so if you see like maybe 3 ammo crates, if you could like throw a net over instead and bring that back, and then maybe not pick up anything else, that could be an interesting like trade-off.
Yeah, so we're reworking the item system. So this is gonna be a bit tricky because most of you guys
they have no idea what they're talking about.
But anyway, like the inventory in the game is that you can have like up to 4 items. You have your pistol, you have like a rifle, stuff like that, right? Currently in the beta, we have weird restrictions on what type, like how many. You can only have 1 gun, for example. And we're changing that, so you have 3 slots, and you could put anything in those 3 slots. So you could have 3 ammo boxes, for example, or I can just only have guns, all the different rifles, or no rifles.
Yeah, I think the issue why it became like this is that like initially we thought you would only have like 2 items always on you, and then we added more hand like grenade stuff, and loot stuff, components. And like components, and it was like and we just, and now like we need to redesign it to make it work properly, just like a regular inventory system, and have no restrictions on what you put in whatever slot.
So
the only thing you won't be able to throw away is the main
pistol.
Gun, the pistol.
So it's like, I don't know, you keep talking about Minecraft, but they have like 9 slots.
Plus the 20 whatever extra slots in the inventory.
I didn't know about that. Okay, it's true. Well, you see a little bar there down where you have like your arm, and then you have 9 things.
The Quake slots.
So that's what we're gonna go for. Like you have your pistol, and then 3 things. That's it. And then you would be able to grapple like 1, 2, 3, and then you have everything.
Actually, one from me on that one. Will there be an easy way when you go to grapple of identifying which slot it's going to pull to? So, say if you're fresh playing the game, you don't know the different sizes of the weapons or items yet, but you've got like your 4 slots. How will you know which slot will that item go to?
So I will start
Okay,
with
cool.
filling up empty slots.
Yeah.
So like if you have an empty slot, you will kind of fill it up with that item. Every item is 1 slot, so it's not
Yeah.
like certain items take
It's
several
not like
slots.
Resident Evil with a Tetris puzzle.
Yeah.
Or a Diablo.
Yeah. But
No.
once you're fully equipped, you will replace whatever you have in your hands.
Yeah.
So if I have a rifle and I see a shotgun, if I'm equipped with a rifle, I will just replace the rifle with the shotgun, basically.
We've got someone asking if there'll be any stealth enemies.
Stealth enemies. So we have a lightweight stealth system for the ships. Enemy ships have sensors.
They have vision, yeah.
They have vision, and you can sneak past them and stuff like that. But it's quite lightweight. On foot, we do not have that.
No.
Whenever somebody says stealth enemies, in my head, I think of the witch in Left 4 Dead, where you like a specific enemy that you have to like walk quiet around, and if you fail, you will have a bigger problem. That's more interesting, I think, to design enemies like that than to do progress bars above every on-foot enemy. But we don't have that yet. So on foot, there is no stealth, but ships, there is a lightweight stealth system.
Cool. There we go. Is there going to be keybind options, and what sort of accessibility options are you planning to have? Like color blindness, maybe that sort of thing.
We have most of the keybinds already.
Yeah.
We're missing some. We'll add those. We will have inverse Y.
Yeah, it's
whatever.
it's growing.
Yeah,
it's
growing.
quite large. You have like sensitivity for every freaking mode in the
Yeah.
whole universe. So yeah,
we'll add it. Like we will evaluate and add. We
Yeah.
have no like specific stance on that really. Like we just add as much as we possibly can and is feasible. Right now we have like a base layer. Like the big thing we're missing right now is more like graphical options, I would say.
Yeah.
In terms of like accessibility if we're running the game on more machines. But we have keybinds. We have like basic gamepad support. We still need to polish the options menu up more, but yeah, we will have it, and you will be able to change language on the fly. No need to restart and those kind of things. Yeah.
Cool. Will there be any big boss fights?
Yeah.
Or are we wandering into spoiler territory?
So we're talking like
more like boss missions.
Yeah. So at the end of a mission, there is like a big challenge.
Yeah.
Where it could be like, okay, there's a giant, huge frigate, 500-meter ship that we have to destroy, and it's like a lot of different phases where we have to like board that frigate and destroy things, and then we have to jump back to our ship because that frigate calls in reinforcements. So from that point of view, it is a boss battle. But not all missions have this giga enemy you're destroying, and on foot there is currently no huge. There are very big enemies that are tough to fight, but there's no like like nothing like that yet.
No.
But
I mean, it's always like such a cool thing to design a boss and think about bosses, but you kill them off in like a minute, and it takes like half a year to make them properly work.
Yeah, but I think we will.
And the novelty disappears quite quickly, like, which is really sad.
Yeah, but I think we will work on that and have quite large ships that can randomly spawn in, and quite large on-foot enemies, dropping down in a drop pod as well. But we're not there yet.
Nice.
I think we can take like 2 more minutes, and then we should just do a quick walk
Tour.
around the office.
Yeah.
Because we're already
Yeah,
talking
it's
almost an
almost
hour.
one. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, we're going on.
Yeah.
Someone's asking, obviously, a lot of people love lightsabers, but have you got any plans for more melee combat or melee weapons in general?
Funny you ask. Yes, we are exploring that. I used to have an old wrench, very reminiscent of the one in Prey. You could just whack things because I love Half-Life, so I just wanted to make the crowbar.
It's here.
Yeah. And it seems like something like that is in the works. But yeah, I think we will have melee items.
Yeah, just a quick one. Someone asked about like seasons pass, microtransactions, blah blah blah, those kind of things. There won't be any microtransactions. There won't be any season pass that cost money. We will probably have DLCs.
Yeah,
Some of them will be free. Some of them will cost money.
yeah. Supporter, golden helmet.
Yes, mustache
Yeah.
that no one will see. No, I don't know. Golden mustache.
I still want to put pink behind a paywall.
Yeah.
Because
The pink color, or like what?
yeah,
what
the
pink?
color pink.
Yeah.
Because it's
Just
like
the whole
so
color pink. Yeah.
every time someone makes a screenshot in the beta testing, they have pink, and I'm like, why? Why does everyone have pink everywhere on their ship? I can't stand it.
Why not? I don't know. It's just like,
My
what's
eyes.
the most annoying thing you can choose?
Yeah,
Like
everything always works. Huh?
But hey, you at least saw the picture, and they know you've seen the picture.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. No, but it's cool. You can. I'm happy people
For the
can
final
express
question,
themselves.
I'm going to say, would you like to tell everybody who may not know what that is on the side of the table there, and where did you get it from?
Oh yeah, this is a first for me actually, because we Jumpship have won a prize even before it's launched. So there was a big indie conference in Gdansk.
Yeah, in Poland.
Yeah, in Poland. Which what was it called again? It has a
DevGam.
DevGam. Yes.
Or I'm not sure how to pronounce it, but DevGam.
Yeah.
DevGam?
So they had a nice conference, and we happened to win most anticipated indie game 2025 in that conference, and this is the thing.
First award.
And super proud actually. And we don't have like this, all cool studios have like a big shelf with all the
We have
prizes.
shelves.
We have
actually have
shelves
yeah.
with all my Star Wars
with
Legion
my
stuff.
participation awards from Minecraft.
So right now we don't have a good place for it, so we kind of just put it in the middle of the table to remind everyone and ourselves that
Super heavy.
it's really heavy, but it's super cool. Like
Yeah.
I'm happy that we already. I've never worked on a title that kind of won a prize before even launching. No pressure.
Yes.
That's awesome.
Yeah, you've been deemed worthy.
Yeah, apparently.
Yeah, apparently.
So that's super cool.
Yeah, do you want to make a tour of the office, Philip? We're
Yeah.
gonna try a thing here. Philip, so he will
So-
connect with his phone and walk around in the office.
Yeah, we'll see.
I
Can
have
I-
to mute myself.
So
See if it works.
let's have a look at how an indie studio looks like. So here in this corner, we have the level designers making all the levels. Over here are all the artists doing amazing work. Yeah, this is where I sit. So I have to film my own little side projects. And then over here is all the programmers working hard on the game. So please note, we have 3 programmers plus our technical director, and then I'm programming as well. Over here is a small corner where we hang out, play some games, and have office meetings. And then this is where we eat. And then, of course, the most important part of the whole studio is the heart of it all, our wonderful server room. Without those 2 computers, nothing will run whatsoever. All right. So that's basically it. This is the studio. All right, back to the room.
And we're back.
Did you guys see anything? I don't know. Probably like super hard.
It looked fine for me. A little bit blurry at times, but it
Okay.
looked
I
okay.
was like, am I filming in the ceiling or in the
Yeah,
ground?
it's like talking with my parents.
We need to
kind of
get
thing.
you a server upgrade though, for sure.
It's
But
enough.
that's
Two
We
computers in the
actually
corner.
don't
It's not going to cut it.
Yeah, I mean, we have most of the stuff hosted on the cloud.
yeah. But at the same time, I'm a strong advocate for
On-prem, as they call
yeah.
it, the cool kids.
do it locally, but also like it's so unnecessary to spend so much money on these things. Like you can get away with buying a computer for $2,000 and that's it.
Yeah.
And so I think the cloud is a bit overpriced. It's my opinion.
Yeah. But yeah,
Cool.
like the quick tour, we actually became 15 people this Monday.
That's true.
We
Yeah.
hired a new guy. Someone asked, I saw in the chat, like, is there any Jonathan there? Probably Jonathan's friends. But
Yeah, Jonathan was there. I think
He
I
was
hope,
there,
I
yeah,
hope
yeah,
he was on screen. I don't know.
so Jonathan was our latest hiree. I'm not sure.
Employee.
Employee.
Yeah.
Yeah, there he is, Jonathan. Jonathan. Yes. And yeah, he just started, completely new, and he's a level designer. So
Yeah.
he's gonna help us make new,
Yeah.
cool space environments.
Yeah, and I think the reason why I'm showing you like the studio and stuff is to kind of just put faces behind what we're doing, and like because we are as a studio are being compared with companies or games that have sometimes even 10 times our
Yeah.
team size. So I just want everybody to kind of be aware that we're not a huge studio. We are 4 programmers, 3 level designers, 4 artists, and Daniel. So we're not a huge team, but we're trying to do the best we can with what we have.
Yeah. I mean, for an indie team, I guess we're kind of like mid-size, maybe. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, it depends on what you compare to.
Yeah.
There are some indie teams that are only like one person. And
Yeah.
they're like one-man army.
Yeah.
Yeah, but we've been growing slowly and steadily, I would say. We started with 5 people, and then we've been adding like 2 per year.
Roughly, yeah.
Yeah.
So hopefully we'll stop. I think this
Yes.
is good, but we've said that for a time. But
Yeah.
yeah, we don't want to be a big studio. We want to stay small, and I think thanks to us being small, we can be quick and sort of do very precise fixes and changes quickly, and not be stuck in meetings all the time.
Yeah. So the people became the team became 15 this Monday. So
Yep.
we expanded a bit. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Cool.
Any last question from you, Kenneth, or before wrapping this up?
No, just thank you for having me.
All right.
Thank you. Yeah, we really
Cheers.
appreciate it.
Thank you so much.
And as for keys and whatnot, we'll get back to you in 3 weeks, everybody. Like I said initially, like maybe not everyone heard, everyone will not be able to participate in the closed beta. We really want to make something more open where everyone can try it out somehow, somewhat. But we'll get back on you on that. Yeah.
Yep.
I mean, we want as many people as possible to try the game. We're not just able to do that at this time. Yeah.
Cool. All right. So thanks for today, and I hope you all had a good time, and see you in a couple of weeks. We might do another one and
Yeah.
talk about the game.
Thank you.
Thank you, and bye-bye.